and trust in the process of manifestation. But what happens when doubt creeps in? What happens when fear whispers its lies? What happens when the world seems to conspire against your assumption? This is when you must remember that doubt and fear are nothing more than negative assumptions, and they operate by the same law as positive assumptions. When you doubt your ability to succeed, you are assuming failure. When you fear that your desire will not manifest, you are assuming its absence. The key is not to fight these negative assumptions, but to replace them with positive ones. You do not overcome doubt by struggling against it. You overcome doubt by assuming certainty. You do not conquer fear by battling it. You conquer fear by assuming courage. You do not eliminate negative assumptions by focusing on them. You eliminate them by focusing on positive assumptions. This is the true meaning of faith. Faith is not believing in something despite the evidence. Faith is assuming something despite the appearance. Faith is living from the reality of your desire rather than from the reality of your circumstances. Faith is persistence in assumption regardless of external conditions. When you have faith, you do not need proof. You do not need evidence. You do not need confirmation from others.
So yeah, basically what he's saying is that your external world, don't let that have anything to do with what's coming forth from within. It's just, once again, it's a bouncing off place. You know, and you stand strong in the law, you knowing of the law, that it's not, nothing's going to happen before it's time, and you know that what happens from within eventually reveal itself from the outside. So yeah.
Only your assumption and your persistence in that assumption. For you know that your assumption, maintained with persistence, must manifest in your experience. This is not hope or wishful thinking. This is confidence in the law of consciousness. And what is this law? It is simply this: consciousness is the only reality, and all else is but its expression. What you are conscious of being, you are. What you assume yourself to be, you become. What you feel yourself to be, you attract. What you think from, you experience. This is the law, and it operates with mathematical precision. But the law requires that you operate from consciousness, not from circumstances. You must think from your desire, not about your desire. You must feel from your assumption.
Because once again, the consciousness is that creative side of you. So this is where everything is coming from. It's from that conscious side. So this is what he's referring to about be more focused on the conscious side.
Not about your assumption. You must live from your wish fulfilled, not from your thou wish denied. This is the difference between those who manifest their desires and those who merely dream about them. The dreamer thinks about his desire. The manifester thinks from his desire. The dreamer feels about his assumption. The manifest feels from his assumption. The dreamer hopes for his wish to be fulfilled. The manifester lives from his wish fulfilled. When you live from your wish fulfilled, you are not trying to get something. You are being something. You are not attempting to become something. You are assuming something. You are not working toward a goal. You are living from the goal achieved. This is the secret of effortless manifestation, of natural success, of spontaneous fulfillment. The man who assumes wealth does not struggle to become wealthy. He simply lives from wealth, thinks from wealth, feels from wealth, and acts from wealth. Wealth is not his goal, wealth is his assumption. He does not try to get money, he assumes he has money. He does not work to become rich, he assumes he is rich. And because he assumes these things, because he lives from these assumptions, they must manifest in his experience. The same is true for any desire you may have. The woman who assumes love does not struggle to find love. She simply lives from love, thinks from love, feels from love, and acts from love. Love is not her goal. Love is her assumption. She does not try to get love. She assumes she has love. She does not work to become loved. She assumes she is loved. And because she assumes these things, because she lives from these assumptions, they must manifest in her experience. This is the power of assumption, the secret of manifestation, the key to transformation. When you assume something, you do not try to make it happen. You simply live as if it has already happened. You do not work to create it. You simply maintain the consciousness that corresponds to it. You do not struggle to achieve it. You simply persist in the feeling of having already achieved it. But here is what you must understand. The law of assumption operates regardless of the size or scope of your desire. It works just as well for small things as for large things, for simple things as for complex things, for personal things as for universal things. The law does not discriminate. It does not judge. It simply creates what you assume. The man who assumes he will find a parking space finds a parking space. The woman who assumes she will meet the right person meets the right person. The student who assumes he will pass the test passes the test. The entrepreneur who assumes her business will succeed succeeds. The artist who assumes his work will be appreciated is appreciated. In every case, the assumption precedes the manifestation. But you must be careful not to limit your assumptions by your past experience or your current circumstances. You must not assume that because something has never happened before, it cannot happen now. You must not assume that because you have failed.
So basically, what he's referring about the assumption is that you know, no doubt in your mind, you know, this is the person that you come to be. You know that this is the life that you want to live. You know that it's the person that you know. There's a knowing. It's not a belief at that point. When you assumption, you know this is what it is.